I'm doing my first podcast with my friend Drew Scott Pearlman. Drew's a filmmaker, he's an author, and he's also a functional medicine practitioner.
Just getting back to basics is
Yeah.
really important.
And I remember when Feel Your Health first came out and I was watching it, and I just asked you about diets and that. I had a friend that wasn't feeling good, and I wasn't, perfect health, and you were talking about the ancestral diet, going to a bone broth, so I actually Chef Sherry that cooks here at Shawbucks, I had her making a bone broth, and she would cook it for 24 hours, and, I mean, it really took off last year, a lot of customers, and it just makes you feel calm. There's a very stress-freeing, it puts you in a good mood, and, I was surprised, you know what I mean, that something so simple as a bone broth. I mean, it sounds complicated, but it's pretty simple to make.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? A lot of it is, Kurt, is just getting back to those old ways of cooking. So like the way our ancestors, like nutrition and a lot of these principles doesn't have to be complicated. It's just about getting back to the ways of our ancestors. So if if your great grandmother was living during a pandemic, you know, what would she do? What would your great grandfather do? Well, they wouldn't have access to all the drugs. They wouldn't have access to even all the supplements. They'd have to find it from food. They'd have to find it from the way they were living. And like a really simple way for nourishing the body, healing the gut is, like meat stock. And I know it sounds or bone broth. You cook that chicken or whatever it is that you're making, instead of taking the liquid that you've cooked it in and dumping it down the sink, you save it, because so many of the minerals and the trace minerals and the amino acids and all of these really nourishing things are actually in that liquid. And so it's one of the most nourishing things you could do to really improve your immune system, heal your gut. So again, getting back to these old ways of our ancestors, and just simply asking, what would they do? What would they eat? Um, am I about to put something in my mouth that my great grandmother wouldn't even know what it is, like some boxed cereal from like from the supermarket. She's looking at this, she wouldn't even know what this thing is. So that's probably not what you want to be eating.